Hi guys, Nathan Metal Down Under here. Seems like a long time since I've done a video, and as you can see, it's from a different space tonight. The family's watching a movie down in the lounge that I've already seen before, so I thought I'd jump on and make a video from this room, the bedroom. Yeah, this is for John over at Rocket Metal Plus, celebrating 500 subscribers. Well and truly past that now. Well deserved. Such a great guy, full of knowledge. Loves all styles of rock and metal, bit of punk, bit of goth in there as well. Yeah, great channel. I'll leave a link to his channel, but I'm sure you're all aware and already subscribed to him. And if not, get on it. Yep, ask us 2 questions and I will get on with it. It's all about music, albums that got us into the music we love, 5 of them. And I'm going to start on my musical journey. Now, before 1987, the only music I really heard was the stuff that my mum and dad had on record in the house, along with my sister. She was into a bit of UB40, a bit of The Cure, Madonna, all that 80s stuff. My dad was into a bit of Elvis and show music, which I still love to this day. Mum was into more of the operatic sort of music, which really didn't interest me at all. But in 1987, a good friend of mine, his brother and sister, changed my musical journey, which spans the decades since, and that was getting me into the hard rock, the glam metal, hair metal, sleaze metal, whatever you want to call it. And I'm going to show 2 for this because I heard them both at the same time, and it got me into the music I love today. Now, back then, the stuff I'm about to show was classed as heavy metal. Although it's hard rock today, back then everything was heavy metal. And these 2 albums set me on my journey. Mum said I'd grow out of it, never did. But the first 2 albums, first one, sorry about the glare, Bon Jovi, Slippery When Wet. When I first heard this, I thought this was absolutely awesome, still do. Saw the music videos on TV over here. You love a good name, a bad name, sorry, and Wanted Dead or Alive. And what else was there? Living on a Prayer, great video clips that really piqued my interest in this kind of music. Loved the long hair, although I've never been able to grow up myself. But that's the first one, Bon Jovi. And at the same time, I was introduced to Europe, out of Sweden, the Final Countdown. Just saw a post come up a few days ago that people reckon that Final Countdown was their one-hit wonders. I don't believe they were, but Joey Tempest, the lead vocalist, was quite happy with that comment. But I reckon they have some fantastic songs, especially the follow-up to this, Out of This World, which you all know is my favourite album of all time. But it's an absolute classic. Of course, you have the Final Countdown, you have Cherokee, Love Chaser, just Ninja, just absolute fantastic hard rock album from 1986. I think they're both from 86, to be honest. But I didn't hear either of them until 1987. Yep, both 1986 releases, and both stunning albums. Then, in about 1990, through my same friend's brother, introduced me to thrash metal, and this was the first album I had ever heard. I was quite late to thrash metal, but yeah, 1990, Megadeth, So Far, So Good, So What. I just have the picture disc version. Very underrated album, still probably due to nostalgia reasons, my favourite album from the band, but very, very overlooked album. But yeah, absolute cracking release, got me into the thrash, and from there it sent me on my Metallica journey, Anthrax, not so much Slayer, but yeah, and lots of other thrash bands. So that's Megadeth. So far, so good, so what? Then in 1991, when grunge was all the rage, which I didn't care for at all. I won't go into that in any more detail, as you all know my love-hate with grunge, and especially Nirvana. But a lot of the glam metal bands started to change their style, just try and stay relevant, which I understand, but it didn't interest me much at all. So I decided to get into New York hardcore. I can't quite remember why I chose this genre, but this band, Biohazard, this album, State of the World Address, just piqued my interest. Absolutely love it. My favourite album of the 90s, hands down. Just cracking New York hardcore, and it's great to see the original band is back together. So yeah, Biohazard, and from there I went on to other bands, Agnostic Front, Cro-Mags, who else? Shelter, Dog Eat Dog, Madball. Huge fan of Madball these days. But yeah, but a new hardcore and a Biohazard. Then in about 94, 95, I can't remember what year this actually came out, 94, I decided to delve into some of the darker stuff, and I got into the death metal. The first album I ever heard, a full album from anyway, was Obituary and World Demise. Yeah, his voice is just so, how do I put it? Find it quite depressing, but that's probably why I love it so much. From there I went on and checked the rest of their catalogue, and to this day still my favourite death metal band. After this I got into Deicide, who else? Death, of course. First introduction to Death was Symbolic, and with Deicide it was Once Upon the Cross. Fantastic albums in their own right, but it was Obituary that got me onto the scene, and yeah, I was a huge fan of anything that came out on Roadrunner back in the day. So yep, Obituary. And lucky last, back in about 2006, I heard this album, heard this band, and it made me fall in love with symphonic metal and female fronted metal for that matter. Of course, I've been a fan of Lita Ford, Joan Jett, Vixen, and even Evanescence previously, but this really set me on my musical journey into the female stuff and the symphonic metal, and from here on I just went on deep into it, and found so much more bands like them, and yeah, it was this album here that sent me on that path, which you all know I love today, and that was Nightwish, the album Once, from 2004 maybe. I think it might be 2004. Don't quote me on that, but yeah. Floor Jansen and Annette were both fantastic vocalists in their own right, but Taja, the original vocalist, will always be my favourite because that's where I discovered this album from. The first song I ever heard was Wish I Had an Angel, followed by Ghost Love Score. Fantastic track. So yeah, Nightwish and Once, cracking album. So that's my answers to that. Next he wants us to give 5 shout outs, being for 500 subscribers. I've jotted down a few here, and I'll leave links to all the channels down below. First one is Rock and Metal to the Max, Howard over in the UK. He shows all genres, from the glam metal right up to even a little bit of black metal from time to time. It doesn't pick up so many records anymore, picks up more CDs, but every now and again he pulls out a real gem and shows all sorts in his updates. And yeah, I find out so many new bands from him, especially in the power metal and the glam metal that I'd completely missed back in the day. And I call myself a glam metal fan, but through his channel I find out so much more. Next one is G-Rock Grant. Another great channel from the UK. Massive Blaze Bayley fan. Loves a lot of the new wave of traditional heavy metal, of British heavy metal, and traditional heavy metal, and the gamut. He just follows the gamut. Not so much into the really heavy stuff, but I know he loves a bit of thrash metal, leading on to a bit of death metal. So yeah, check out G-Rock's channel. Next one is fellow YouTuber from here in New Zealand. That is Keith over at Tech from Down Under, my middle brother down here. He, in his videos, he shows all sorts, and it's not just metal. He shows some just straightforward rock, 70s stuff as well, but he loves his heavy metal. So check out Keith. Next one, a guy who's been in the VC for a very long time. It's Tony, Tainted Lord 87, always comments on my videos. Such a lovely guy from Canada. He is big into the heavier side of metal, but also likes a bit of metalcore, and even a bit of normal straightforward heavy metal, even a bit of glam metal that he missed back in the day. He's a little bit younger than a lot of us guys here, so he follows the gamut of metal going through the 90s, 2000s, that kind of stuff. So check out Tony. And the last one is another metal brother from Australia across the ditch, and that is Chad the Metallurgist. Shows plenty of rock and metal. He has an awesome collection, been showing a lot of tapes, which is awesome. And yeah, very, he knows his stuff, this old Chad. So yeah, that's my 5 that I chose. Some have more subs than others, but yeah, all great channels, and I'll leave links to them all below. So hope you enjoyed that, everybody. John, thanks very much for having this competition, and I look forward to the drawing. So catch you guys very soon. I'll probably get one more update in before I head away on holiday, and I'll probably do that in a couple of weeks' time. So watch out for that. So yeah, have a great weekend, guys, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye for now.